Welcome to my channel. This is Pain in the Patoot, and I'm a content creator, mainly a streamer, a game player, and the main game that I play is Escape from Tarkov. So I produce some guides and tips and things like that for new players, and so um, it is now 11:30 on the 14th of November. That's significant because November 15th, this game that I love playing, Escape from Tarkov, is exiting beta and hitting 1.0 release. So the game will be as it releases tomorrow, or at least in a few hours. It will be available on Steam. It will be coming to console, apparently. I don't know when. It's not available yet on it. But yeah, it's I've been playing since 2017, so five, three, eight, roughly 8 years. That's how long I've been playing this beta. I love the game. It's great. I enjoy it. I like showing people stuff for it. On my channel, Pain in the Patoot, are a number of guides, completing tasks, how to do certain things. Unfortunately, all of those will now be dated. They still, in a lot of cases, will still be good. And as I progress through the release 1.0 version of the game, I'll be updating them. But they still will be some value, I hope, to people. So this particular video I'm putting out is for new players. Some thoughts on what you need to do right off the bat. Now, nothing too detailed around, which gun to pick or anything like that. Mostly, this is just some pointers that will hopefully help you out. On the screen, you can see interchange. This is one of the maps. So the game is an extraction shooter where you will spawn in at one of these little triangles here, like this, and you'll spawn in at one side of the map, and then you'll have to travel to the other side of the map, typically, to get to an extraction point, and that's what these green little running man symbols for. Their extraction. If you spawn over here, this extraction won't be available to you. You usually have to go across the map. And while you're traversing the map, you'll have to defend yourself against scavs, AI players, and you'll have to defend yourself against PMCs, which are other players. So that's basically what you do in Tarkov. Um, like I said, it's an extraction shooter. You spawn in, you move across the map to the extraction, you get out. Along the way, you can loot, you'll complete tasks, but the items you pick up, you must survive to extract to keep them. Otherwise, if you die, you lose them. There's two methods of playing, Scav and PMC. You'll see that in the launcher, and unfortunately, because the game is being updated at this very moment, to release one, I can't pull up the screen to show it to you, but my recommendation is play the Scav as much as you can, especially early on. As a Scav, you spawn in, and you're given a random selection of materials. Um, and you use them on the raid. Typically, they're not that great, but it's enough to defend yourself somewhat. On scav raids, I avoid other players in most cases. Now, if you run into other scavs, typically they can be pretty friendly to you and they won't attack you because there's really no point in attacking anything other than PMCs. You don't really get anything by killing a scav or another player scav, somebody playing as a scav. You don't get any XP or whatever. To progress in this game, you want to get XP, and you get that for doing virtually anything on the game. If you go in and extract, if you spawn, move across the map and extract, you get some XP for doing that. If you loot, you get some XP. If you kill something, you'll get XP. So XP, and then the other important part is money. Everything that's you're going to need a lot of money in this game to be able to buy better equipment, mods, ammo, first aids, food, anything. You need money. Um, so yeah, those are the two elements you need to chase. Um, and that will help you progress in the game. So the maps, I know for anybody new, they can be very intimidating. What you see on the screen here is the Tarkov wiki. If you go to Google, you type in Tarkov wiki, it comes up with this database. Now, right now, again, so you can see right here, please be patient while we work on patch 1.0. You can share new information on our Discord server. So all the information in this wiki is going to be old, so some of it won't be relative or relevant to what you're doing, but it still can be a lot of help. So basically the maps will probably not change in 1.0, so they'll be worthwhile having. Um, but map knowledge is very important to your survival in this game. You can see here how close the spawn points are in this game, so you can spawn in here and somebody else can spawn over here and will basically attack you trying to get into the mall. This is basically a big mall on this map. The reason I like interchange is it's kind of in the shape of a square with an extraction point here and an extraction point there, so it makes it really easy to get around this map. You basically, if nothing else, you can just follow the fence all the way around to the extractions. So this is all fenced in area. You can't get on the other side of the fence, so it helps you out. Um, but and then I'll just show you. I'll show all. So all these little icons here are tasks that you had to do um, on this map. So you can see how many of them there are. Anyways, basically, uh, you need to, one of the things you'll need to do is kind of learn the maps, and it's going to be difficult at the start, especially something like woods where there's lots and lots of trees. So you have to kind of look for landmarks to help you out. So, for example, there's a blue fence running along here. So if you see the blue fence, you kind of know where you are. There's also a blue fence running along here, so same thing. Um, but there's other places where the fences is just gray, so you can kind of get that to figure out. It's all gray along here. Now it does go blue along here, but again, stuff like that will help you um, on the maps. Anyways, uh, that is important to know the maps. You'll only be able to learn them by going in and playing or watching a streamer and pay attention to the backgrounds and such when he's extracting. That will help you. Um, there is an offline mode that you can get into, and that's like training wheels. You can spawn in with nothing else, no players, no scavs, and just run around in the in the map to learn stuff. But here I've typed in quests, and now it's to the quest page in this wiki, and I'm pulling up this picture here just to give you an idea. So for the game, you're going to find yourself whatever version of the game you purchased, you got a stash. The more you spent on the game, the bigger the stash is. You're going to find in the game that that stash fills up very, very quickly. Now you can use things like backpacks and boxes to expand that, but it takes a while to acquire the boxes, and they are not cheap. But here it's showing you sort of all the stuff you're going to have to acquire to complete the task for each. These are all the traders, and in order to complete their tasks, you'll have to find these items. So it's handy to have right now because you're going to find in the game when you go in and you're going to go in, you're going to pick stuff up, you're going to loot, and You're not going to know what to keep. Well, this will kind of help you tell you what you need to keep um, from that stuff that you're picking up. I would recommend always exiting the game with every slot on your person full of something. In a lot of cases, you can simply sell it back. But um, how the traders work is so you can buy stuff off the traders. In a lot of cases, you can buy a lot of good stuff off the traders, and you'll have to buy stuff off the traders. But the traders have levels, so they start at one and go to one, two, three, and then master. And they will only sell you certain items at in that level there are. So you start off, everybody's level one. They have a bunch of stuff they'll sell you. It's not particularly good. So you buy what you can off them, but in order to get them to the next level, you have to have a certain amount of money transacted with them. So by buying and selling things with them, you build up the amount of money in the transaction pool. And then the other item or the other thing is your character's level will determine, again, moving them up to the next level. And then there's also reputation. So um, as you do tasks for these traders, they will give you reputation points, and you have to have your character at a certain reputation with these traders for them to move to the next level. But that's one of the things you want to work on is get them to the better levels because, like I said early on, the very lowest level, you're not able to buy anything really good. The armor is bad. The guns are okay, but you can't buy any mods for them. So they're bouncing all over every place because of recoil when you try to shoot them. The ammunition available to you is horrible. So this is kind of the one point I wanted to make is early on in the game, you go in, um, what do you keep? What do you extract with? If you only have a certain size uh, backpack, but you can carry a backpack in with you, and I always recommend doing that because you want to be able to pick up as much stuff as possible during the game and get out with it. But you'll eventually have a backpack that's full. You pick up something else, and it's like, oh, what do I do? Do I keep it or do I let or drop it? And you can drop things out of the backpack. Well, this, even though it's outdated, this list will tell you the things you need to keep. So that's one of the things when I'm playing Tarkov or when I started off with Tarkov, I had an older laptop and then I had my gaming desktop. So I played the game on the gaming desktop and I kept the laptop open beside me with the wiki so I could look through and look up things. Especially like, excuse me, especially something like this. So this will give you some general idea of the things you need to collect and keep. Eventually, however, your stash will get full, and then you have to start selling things off. So this will help you on what items you can sell. There'll be some items you need to collect, but they may not appear because your tasks are locked behind your level. They may not appear until late in the game, and you'll have plenty of opportunity to find find these items, so you can maybe get rid of them earlier on. But early on, again, I don't know with level one how they're going to be released. The last wipe that we did, the there wasn't a lot of good stuff available from the traders. So uh, people often say, "What gun should I buy?" Well, it's the bullets that you can put in the gun that make the difference. So early on in the game, it comes down to what bullets can you buy, um, and that's what I use to determine what gun I'm going to run. So early on, bullets are crap with the from the traders. You can't get anything good. You might as well throw your gun at the other players in a lot of cases, because the bullets can't penetrate body armor. But one thing is, I recommend when you go into a raid, if you find a box of ammo and they are spread all over the place, just sitting on top of containers and stuff, but you can also get them in sort of like the black plastic pelican cases, they're called, in the real world. But sometimes you'll open that and there'll be bullets there. There's some little ammo boxes you'll find distributed around. I keep every single round of ammunition that I pick up early on in the game because I don't know what's good and what's not good. And again, stuff is really hard to get good bullets early on in the game, and good bullets can make the difference um, between living and dying in this game. So if you jump over here to ballistics, this has got all kinds of information on um, various bullets and the how effective they are in penetrating ammunition. So what you can do is if you have this open, you can go hide in some bushes or behind boxes or whatever and go through the ammunition you've picked up in the game, or just take it all out and then come here and look it up, and you can sell the stuff that doesn't have a lot of good qualities. Basically, there's penetration, damage, and armor damage, and those are the main stats for ammunition. So you always want higher penetration ammunition. So the Tokarev pistol, if you were going to use that gun, you would want the ammunition that's PSTGZH, because it's got the highest penetration and not the highest damage. Often there's a trade-off between penetration and damage, but you want the highest penetration because you need the penetration to get through the body armor that they're wearing. So when a bullet hits the body armor, it has a chance of penetrating. The higher the penetration number, the higher the chance is to penetrate the armor. If it penetrates the armor, then it does a percentage of the damage, because it's lost some of its momentum getting through the body armor. But then that damage starts affecting your body. Um, so now, if it can't penetrate the armor, at least it damages it, and it kind of drains the armor of the armor has its own health. It starts draining the armor of its health to the point where the armor is nothing more than a t-shirt. Like it's garbage. It's no effect. It isn't effective. However, you can repair it, and there are plates you can replace in this game. There's a lot of stuff you're gonna have to learn. I'm sorry, but if I go here, basically I'm gonna go to 545 by 45 NATO because I typically run as a USEC. There's two. There's Bears, which are Soviet special forces or characters, and then there's USEC, which is a NATO-based security service. So you get to pick which one of the two. I always pick the NATO base because I like an M4. But here's all the ammunition for the M4. So early on, you'll only be able to buy stuff like this, which is like 11 pen. Got a lot of damage. So if you shoot somebody in the leg, that's what you do if you can't go through the armor. You shoot them in the legs because there's no protection in the game on any piece of armor for the legs. So you can actually kill a person by shooting them in the legs. But what you want to do is you gradually move up. Now, if you find some of this better ammunition, M855A1, it's got 44 pen and 49 damage, you'd certainly want to extract with that. So, like I said, I pick up all ammunition that I can in a raid and extract with it. Then I come here and look and see how good it is. If it's garbage, if it's below 30 pen, I get rid of it. Unless I simply don't have the ammunition. Because as I said a few minutes ago, early on in the game, you can't buy a lot of good ammunition. The traders either just have poor ammunition or they have no ammunition to sell you. So until you get to level 15 and you can open up the flea market, then you can start buying ammunition off the flea market. It's way hella expensive, more expensive than the traders. Um, you can also craft it down in the hideout, but again, that doesn't come until around level 15 of your character either. It might be lower than that. Well, you can do some stuff early on, but anyways, you have to have all the workbench where you can craft ammunition to a certain level before you can ever craft any ammunition. Period, but good ammunition. So again, pick up all and retain all the ammunition you can because it is very difficult to find um, early in the game. Another thing to get early in the game is food. You need to your character as he moves around sweats, so his hydration drops, and if it goes to zero, you'll start to die. There's also energy. If your energy goes down to zero, you can die. Um, so in order to keep your energy up, you can eat and drink various items. Now here you'll see energy plus 10, hydration minus 10. So if you eat this box or bag of croutons, you'll get plus 10 energy, but you'll lose hydration. So typically you have to eat something dry with a liquid to go with it. Some of the things here have more in one aspect than the other, like more energy, less of a drain for hydration. So I'm looking for something. So peas. Peas are wonderful. Cans of peas, I always keep cans of peas. 35 energy, 5 hydration. So a can of peas is great to keep it. But again, so here's a can of Coke plus 15 hydration, but plus 5 energy. So eating these things during the game will help you survive. After you come out of a raid, you usually have to eat and drink something to get your those energy and the hydration levels back up. Although it does naturally recover over time. But if you're going in one raid after another, you could go into a raid with your energy and hydration levels low, and you'll just crash very quickly in the game. So again, it's very hard early on to buy food and water or liquids. So early on in the game, keep all of this stuff. You'll be consuming it, so it's even though it takes up space, when you eat it, of course, it's gone from your stash and it frees up the space that's needed. But all of these items are food items. Eventually, you can buy them from the therapist trader, or you can buy them off the flea market when you get to the level whatever it is. They may change it. I think it's level 15. But as standard practice, I keep all the bullets I find in the early raids. I keep all the food I find in the early raids. And then the final thing is medicine. So here, no, it's basically going to show me some other stuff. But there's bandages. There are tourniquets to stop your bleeding. There's health IFAKs and Sulliwas and little orange med packages. When you get shot, you'll bleed, so you need to stop the bleeding with a bandage or a tourniquet, and you have to then heal yourself, and that will come um, from using different uh, first aid kits, etc. So again, very difficult early on to get good first aid stuff. So these IFAK packs, you can find them all over the game. They're like gold, so you always, always, always want to pick them up. You have bandages, you want to pick them up. You have tourniquet, you want to pick them up. You have hemostat tourniquet. So again, early in the game, it's very difficult to get good um, medical supplies. So um, grab it all, grab it all. So there are two things. There's like light bleeding and heavy bleeding. Certain bandages will do certain um, will do something towards one of them. Some of them it might. So here, this bandage will get rid of light bleeding, but it doesn't get rid of heavy bleeding. So in that case, you have to go back and you have to use the tourniquet. And then tourniquet, it will get rid of heavy bleeding and it can stabilize flesh wounds. All right. So Salawa is one of the better first aid. It'll get rid of light bleeding, heavy bleeding. Um, it will stabilize things and it will heal you. It'll heal you a certain amount each time, but it has a value that drains each time you use it, and eventually it will disappear out of your backpack because everything is been used in it. So again, and you can find these in med bags, and med bags look like this. You can find them in jackets. You can find them on dead scavs. You can find them in medical supply crates, which looks like that. So there's stuff all over the place. But um, the point I'm trying to make is early on, you can't buy the Salawas, the good ones. You can only get the little orange med packs. You burn through those so quickly, but they're better than nothing. So all medical stuff, you need to pick it up and exit the raid with it. So that's ammunition, that's med supplies, and that's food items. Those are the critical items that you need to start building a stock up in your stash. Again, the food, you'll consume it, so it'll disappear out of your stash. The med stuff you'll take in with your character. You'll use it when you get shot, so it'll eventually disappear out of your stash. Um, and the bullets, you'll take them into the raid and either shoot them or die and lose them that way. But they'll start disappearing out of your stash. So even though originally it'll take up a lot of space in your stash, they'll eventually, as you use them, it'll free up space in your stash. Um, there's lots and lots of different uh, modifications for your gun. Um, there's so many I can't really go into, but I typically will, again, any kind of mod to a gun, I'll pick it up and take it out of the raid because you can use it. It'll improve the characteristics of your gun. It will make it shoot. It'll recoil is horrible on guns in the game, and you take a shot and the gun is popping up and down, so you can't hit anything. Well, if you put a foregrip on it and you put some other mods, you can reduce that recoil and make your guns more effective. So those things are important as well. And then, as I showed you earlier, if going in here to the wiki and then going to the quests, there's all these items: nuts, bolts, screws, plugs, wires, capacitors, all that stuff. Keep as much of that as possible because that's used in your hideout, that's used to do tasks, that's used to trade for items. So again, it's important to get, and until the flea market opens, you can't access all that kind of stuff. So those are the kind of things that I throw into my backpack and my rig until I can start buying them. I will say, once you can buy things from the traders, then stop keeping them. So early on, you could buy an M4 from a trader. So if I went into a raid and I found an M4 in a box, because you can find guns in boxes, which is great. You can also find body armor in cases, which is great. But early on, every M4 that I come across, or MP5 or AK, I would keep because, again, early on traders, you can't access very good guns. So every time I have a gun, I will keep it. And That's great up until the point where you can buy that same gun from a trader. Once you can get it from a trader, then stops keeping them in your stash because it'll free up space. You'll always be able to come back and buy them. So there's no sense keeping them when you can buy them. And that goes for anything. If med supplies, once you can buy them, don't bother keeping them because you can always buy them. Work towards building up your stash of cash to be able to buy things because you're going to need to. That's how you can progress in this game. You'll find late in the game, you'll have guys running around with the best armor, the best ammunition, and the best guns. It's because they've built up a huge amount of cash and they start buying it off the flea market. Um, I don't know if things will change in 1.0 and how you can acquire gear, but it doesn't matter how far I go back in wipes. Early on, like I said, there's certain things that are hard to acquire until you can level the traders up, them being food, ammunition, and medical supplies. So early on in the game, keep all those things. Don't dump them on the ground because you get a teapot or something like that. Until you get to the position that you can buy those supplies from therapists, that's the medical um, trader. But once you can buy them off her, then you don't really need to be keeping them anymore, and then you can start looking for these more important um, objects. The traders themselves, there are, let's see if it'll tell me anything about traders. Trading. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 traders. Lightkeeper and BTR are very late in the game, so don't worry about them up front. Ref, you can only access him if you have the arena game. Otherwise, good luck. Yeah, you can't get him unlocked. Off the start, Jaeger is not available to you until you do a task for mechanic, but these are the traders, and um, they all sort of do specific things. So, and they will buy certain things. So, Prapor, Soviet weapon. So, this is his wares. He'll take most modifications for guns. He'll take Soviet bloc weapons. Um, the grenades, mods, ammo. He'll buy most of it. What you'll do is if you have something in your stash and you click on one of the traders, if they can buy it off you, it'll go. It'll be highlighted. If they can't, then it's grayed out. Therapist is meds, provisions, food. In other words, keys, storage containers, maps. Those are the things she's interested in. That's what she'll buy, and that's what you can buy from her, and that's what you can sell to her. Fence, he will take virtually anything, so anything sold to him. He'll buy anything. He pays the worst, and he'll sell you broken shit. So these various traders will pay you, even though they will compete to buy the same item, they'll pay different dollar values. So you always have to be paying attention to what a trader will give you for it. So if you have an M4, you can get X amount of dollars from Peacekeeper and X amount of dollars from Mechanic, which is higher than Peacekeeper, etc. Stuff like that. Skier, again, he does weapons, magazine, ammo, mods, storage containers, etc. He's the only one you can get euros from, and there are some tasks you need euros. So there's that. Peacekeeper, he's UN NATO based. He'll buy a lot of stuff, get weapons, gears, magazines, ammo, grenades, mods, containers. He's the only one you can buy dollars from. So you can take your rubles and you can go to him and you can buy dollars because if you want to buy anything from him, he only sells you stuff based on either euros or rubles. So you have to have euros, you have to have rubles to deal with him. You only have rubles, so you have to have euros or dollars to deal with Peacekeeper. You only have rubles, well, you can go to Peacekeeper and buy some dollars from him. Mechanic, he buys a lot of stuff, pays one of the best to pay you for things, but that's where you go. So, Ragman, he's really only selling you body armor, headgear, tactical rigs, backpacks, hearing enhancements. Like you can buy headsets that will enhance the hearing and sound in the game. Jaeger, he's mostly shotguns, so he has lots of shotgun shells, but he will take backpacks and shot and things like that. But my point is, you have different traders. They will only deal in certain items. They will pay better or worse than the other traders. And they will sometimes, like Peacekeeper, only deal in certain currencies. So you have to be aware of that when you're doing it. But you get from these guys, you will get tasks from them. They'll give you a task, and that's how you can ramp up your um, reputation with them, is by completing a task for them. They give you usually, if you do a task for them, they'll give you some money, they'll give you some items, and you'll boost your rep with them. So it's important to do that kind of stuff. Um, so you can see here, loyalty level 1, you have to be, you start off that way. To go to loyalty level 2, you need your character to be at level 13. You must have 0.15 of rep, and you must have did dollar sales with them of up to 400,000 rubles. So buying something or selling something to a trader um, will basically contribute to this number. And each one of the traders have different requirements here. Level 3, you can see it's gone up higher. Level 4, it's gone up higher. Um, and these are the items. So you'll see level 1, these are all the only items that you can get from her. Now you notice you can't get buy the Selwas. They When they have the arrows, they are only a trade item. So the only medical pack you can buy is a little cheese piece of cheese, we call it, and this is a car. You can't buy these ones. You go to level 2. Now you can suddenly buy the Selwas. You can trade for the IFAKs. You can't buy them, but there's more things you can buy off this trader. Level 3 goes up more. There's more things. There's the IFAK for the first time you can buy. Um, and you can buy the multi wrap splint. Earlier on, you can only buy. There's a splint, so you get shot in the leg, and your leg will be broken. And when your leg's broken, you can only hobble. You can't run, so your character loses the ability to run unless you put wrap a splint around it. So this is a single use splint. This one here is 3 uses. So obviously it's better to carry, but you can only buy it from therapist at level 3. So what you would want to do in the game is every time you come up across one of these little orange rolls, take them out because you're going to need to buy them. And then we get to level 4, and you can see you can get Grizzly. This is the best first aid in the game. The problem is it takes up a lot of space. A lot of the rigs won't carry it. You have to keep it in your backpack, and it's a shame if you ever lose it. So typically you keep it in your stash and you use it to heal yourself. When you come out of a raid and you're all beaten up and you're shot and your leg's broken, you go here, you right click it, you say use, and it'll heal you for the next raid. If you don't heal yourself and you go into the raid, you'll go back in with bleeding and broken legs, and you'll die really quickly. So those are the items that you can buy as you ramp them up, and that's why it's important to ramp up the traders, etc. Each trader has these requirements. Each one you'll have to fulfill. And like I said, they all give you tasks, and they pay out in uh, they're usually in rubles, but sometimes euros, or they want euros. But yeah, you need to deal with these people, and you need to ramp them up as soon as possible because let's go here let's go to Prapor. I talked about him. He's a guy that does UK stuff, or um, Soviet stuff. So again, he's got his requirements to move him up from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You want to do that as soon as possible. He has his own group of tasks. So if you pick on him, these are all the tasks that exist in the game now. They may increase, some of them may decrease, but by looking through the list, you can see items that you're going to need. So here, um, let's see here. So markers, you need to get markers in the game and go and mark certain items. So there's some stuff that you need. But these are all the tasks. You can get a description of the task. You can tell this is what it'll pay out, the rewards from completing the task. So you get experience points, reputation boosts, rubles, a Mosin, and some ammo. And that's how you get some of the better ammo as well. Again, we have this guide here of all the items you need to be. This is very important right now, so that you can um, start looking for these items and start saving them. Okay. Let's see. Close this. Is that the right one, or close that? Okay. So anyways, let's go back to Prepor for a minute here. Okay. So this is what I was talking about. So you see, here's the ammunition that is available and the cost. You can see the stuff here. If you go to level 2, now some of the items, you notice the ammunition is going up in price. That usually corresponds to how good it is. The cheaper the ammo, the shittier it is. But anyways, back here, when we go first, there's a few guns that you can get off him. There's a few pieces of armor you can get off him at level 1, but nothing particularly good. You go to level 2, you get some more ammunition, which is good for you, and you get some better guns and mods and stuff. And again, you go to level 3 for him, and he adds this. He adds this to all the previous stuff that you had available. And again, you get better guns and better armor off this guy. So as you move these guys up, you increase what you can buy from them, better mods, better guns, etc., etc. And that's why it's important to um, move these, get the rep up of these guys as soon as possible. So you have to do stuff with them. Okay, so I think I'm pretty well done blabbing on this section. I'm just going to throw it up. But yeah, this hopefully give the game a chance. I'm going to say that. Um, it's tough when you start. You get frustrated. I have friends who've left the game. They just can't take it. But I think it's worth it. I really enjoy this game. I've been playing it for, like I said, 7 years. So if I didn't enjoy it, then why would I have played it? But anyways, um, it is a frustrating game at times, and it does take some time to um, learn it. Anyways, as I said, there's certain items you want to keep. I've gone through them enough that you're probably sick of me. Check my channel out. I do have a lot of materials there that might help you out. But again, tomorrow the game's live, and I'll be streaming um, after the 15th pretty well every day. Unfortunately, I have kind of a weird schedule, but I do update my, or put videos on my channel, YouTube channel, and stream on Twitch and YouTube. So if you want to pop in and ask a question, feel free to do so. Okay, thanks.